post-apocalyptic movies become classics. Others get destroyed by critics, audiences, or both. But does a terrible rating always mean a terrible movie? Today, we're looking at 8 post-apocalyptic films with seriously bad reputations. Some probably deserve the hate. Others may have been judged far too harshly. From frozen wastelands and deadly pandemics to alien invasions and ruined civilizations, these movies all failed to impress a lot of viewers. But are they really that bad? Let's find out. Number 8. Future World. Civilization is gone, cities have been swallowed by the desert, and the remaining survivors live in a world ruled by weapons, gangs, and violence. A young man known as Prince leaves his protected community to search for medicine that could save his dying mother. But outside the walls, he enters a brutal wasteland filled with raiders, slave traders, and a dangerous android caught between human emotions and machine programming. Future World often feels like a strange, low-budget version of Mad Max, mixed with science fiction. The story gets ridiculous, the characters are completely over the top, and critics hated it. But if you enjoy desert wastelands, motorcycles, violent gangs, and bizarre post-apocalyptic worlds, this one can still be surprisingly entertaining. Number 7. The Humanity Bureau. America has been devastated by climate disasters, economic collapse, and disappearing natural resources. The government now decides which citizens are still considered useful to society. Anyone classified as unproductive is sent to a mysterious place known as New Eden. Nicolas Cage plays an officer working for the system, but after investigating one particular case, he begins to realize that the government may be hiding something much darker. What follows is a journey across empty highways, abandoned settlements, and a dying country where survival has become a privilege. The Humanity Bureau never fully reaches the potential of its disturbing idea, but the concept of a government controlling who deserves to survive makes it an interesting dystopian thriller for fans of post-apocalyptic cinema. Number 6. Battlefield Earth. 1,000 years after civilization collapsed, Earth no longer belongs to humanity. A powerful alien race has conquered the planet, destroyed its cities, and forced the remaining humans into primitive settlements. Most survivors know almost nothing about the world that existed before them. But when one man is captured by the invaders, he begins learning their technology and discovers that humanity may still have a chance to fight back. Battlefield Earth became legendary for all the wrong reasons. The acting is exaggerated, the camera angles are bizarre, and almost every scene feels completely excessive. But that is also what makes it fascinating. As a gigantic and completely insane science fiction disaster, it has become one of those movies that can be incredibly bad and strangely entertaining at exactly the same time. Number 5. After Earth. Humanity abandoned Earth centuries ago. The planet is now wild, dangerous, and almost completely free of human civilization. When a spacecraft crashes during a mission, a father and son become stranded on the planet their species was forced to leave behind. The father is badly injured, leaving young Kitai with only one option. He must travel alone across hostile terrain, recover an emergency beacon, and survive creatures that have evolved without humans around. After Earth received terrible reviews and has plenty of problems, but its basic idea remains fascinating. An abandoned Earth, ruined traces of civilization, dangerous wildlife, and one young survivor completely alone in the wilderness. For fans of survival science fiction, the setting alone makes this movie more interesting than its reputation suggests. Number 4. Æon Flux. A deadly pandemic wipes out almost the entire human population. 400 years later, the last survivors live inside a massive protected city believed to be the final safe place on Earth. On the surface, everything looks peaceful and perfect. But people are disappearing, memories do not always make sense, and the government clearly knows more than it admits. Æon Flux is part of a secret rebellion trying to uncover what is really happening inside the city. The movie was heavily criticized for its confusing story, but visually it still has a lot to offer. Strange architecture, futuristic technology, hidden laboratories, and a mystery surrounding the future of humanity create a unique atmosphere. It may be flawed, but it is definitely one of the more unusual post-apocalyptic science fiction movies of its era. Number 3. Mortal Engines. Hundreds of years after civilization was destroyed, humanity has found a completely insane way to survive. Entire cities have been placed on enormous wheels and now travel across the wasteland, hunting and consuming smaller settlements for resources. London has become one of the most powerful predator cities in the world, but behind its massive machines hides a dangerous plan that could change everything. Mortal Engines was supposed to launch a huge new science fiction franchise, but instead became a massive box office disappointment and received poor reviews from critics. And yet, visually, this movie is spectacular. Giant moving cities, airships, ruined landscapes, and massive battles make it one of the most unique post-apocalyptic worlds ever put on screen. The story may be flawed, but the world itself is absolutely worth seeing. Number 2. Resident Evil, the final chapter. The T-virus has almost completely destroyed humanity. Cities are ruins, survivors are disappearing, and enormous hordes of infected creatures now dominate the world. Alice discovers that there may still be one final chance to stop the outbreak, but to do it, she must return to the place where the nightmare began, Raccoon City. Her journey takes her across a devastated landscape filled with zombies, mutants, and the remains of human civilization before leading back to the underground world of the Umbrella Corporation. The final chapter is not subtle, realistic, or particularly interested in slowing down. It is pure post-apocalyptic action. Zombies, monsters, explosions, and ruined cities arrive almost constantly. Critics had plenty to complain about, but for fans who simply want an aggressive zombie apocalypse, it delivers exactly what it promises. Number 1. The Colony. In this apocalypse, the greatest enemy is not a virus or nuclear war. It is the cold. After a catastrophic climate disaster, Earth is trapped beneath ice and snow, forcing the remaining survivors to live inside underground colonies. Food is running out, disease is becoming increasingly dangerous, and every mistake could destroy an entire shelter. When communication with another colony suddenly stops, a small team travels across the frozen wasteland to investigate. What they discover proves that the freezing temperatures may not be the worst thing waiting outside. The colony received weak reviews, but for post-apocalyptic survival fans, it has almost everything. Underground bunkers, abandoned cities, endless snow, desperate survivors, and a terrifying threat hiding inside the remains of the old world. So, which one of these movies was hated way more than it deserved? And which one really is that bad? Drop your pick in the comments. Subscribe to Best Movies for more zombie, post-apocalyptic, and survival movies. See you in the next one.